Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. Now this is the second part for the series I'm doing on Eat, Pray, Love, which will be discussing her, Elizabeth Gilbert's, time spent in an Indian ashram. If you would like to know what the series is all about and get to know the first part, which she spent in Rome, Italy, I will link the first part in the description box for you to go watch it, so we can get right into my thoughts and my annotations of the second part spent in India. As I mentioned briefly, this is her time spending and practicing yoga in an Indian ashram. Now, to preface, I'm not that much into the whole yoga culture, spirituality, but it was still interesting to I will have to look with the camera, interesting to read about it, because I always think it's good to challenge yourself to read about something that is so different from your own perspective. She starts off talking about her childhood with the sentence that they had a chicken farm, basically, and I was like, I just want chickens. I just have this dream of having a little place with chickens. I just want chickens. Like, if I ever like win the lottery, I will buy a like little place and just own chickens. Like, that is me. I just want chickens. So yeah, that's weird. That's the first thing I got out of it. There was like this whole aspect of her having to get into that ashram and making those tests and getting references for like getting into there, and please don't be psychologically damaged because we don't want any issues. And I was like, but aren't those people that would need it the most? So I was already like a bit weirded out about the whole situation, which didn't really help. She goes on talking about meditation practices a lot on here, and she talks a lot about the historical aspects. And if you are not really into that, it is sometimes tough to get through. But again, I think we always have to at times put ourselves into those situations where we look at I hope the lighting is not too weird. Okay, now I'm over. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not. That's just how we have to deal with. She puts you as a reader in a situation where you can't really escape that, but it's fine because you have to, as I said, put yourself into a reading experience where you read about other things than just your own narrow-minded perspective. Not that your perspective is narrow-minded, but just having your own perspective is narrow-minded at times. So it's always good to put yourself in there. But I didn't get along at all with like the philosophy behind it, because there was also like, please don't ever cry or have like a mental breakdown because that's a weakness. And I was like, but it's not, it's just not. Like, but then Richard from Texas appeared, which she constantly called Richard from Texas, which was just funny. And he was great. He was just great. He brought in humor, and it was funny, and the conversations they had, it was just funny. And I constantly drew those loving smileys, because I love doing drawing hearts or smileys just when I feel like there's a funny scene or a heartwarming scene or anything. I often just do that. So yeah, this section will clearly be shorter than the Italian one, because again, I just didn't really get along that well with this section, and it didn't resonate with me as much as the other section, but I still really appreciated it. I enjoyed how she talked about the literary, or like the literal body, but also like the poetic body, and how that works alongside. I really enjoyed that perspective. What I enjoyed most about this was, and unfortunately that was a little bit neglected in this, like her own personal experience. It was more a little bit too heavy on the historical side, but okay. Because I really appreciated how she reflected on, especially her time in the beginning, how she struggled with the practices she had to do, and she didn't get along with a certain meditation form, or it just didn't work for her. And I really appreciated when she showed how frustrated she got with that. So that is something I really appreciated in this section, and I wished it would be a little bit longer and more about her than just like the historical side of it. Because there was also like this one time where they have to sing those meditation things. I don't know what they are called. And she's like, I'm annoyed. I don't like this verse we have to sing. I hate it. I don't get along with it. It annoys me. And I just really appreciated that. She wasn't not doing it and saying, oh, it was all so nice and lovely and it was brilliant and I enjoyed myself so much. She was really honest with the readers. So that's something I really appreciated. Yeah. And then she goes on and tries to find a person she can think of while doing that meditation practice she gets annoyed with, and she chooses her nephew, and she describes him as so calm that he was the only one quiet and not screaming when he was born. And I was like, that's me, because apparently I was quite a chill child, and very easy to deal with. But I also wondered a little bit about how she described him and if he possibly has autism, but she didn't really get into that, and I didn't want to put a diagnosis on him without knowing any background. Yeah, so there's that. Again, I don't really have too much to say on this section, because it is definitely not the section I enjoyed best. I can say that. It was nice, and I appreciated it, but I was very sad apparently when Richard from Texas left. Yeah. And then she talks about when Richard from Texas left, she had to readjust a little bit, and she wanted to have a period of silence, and she settled for that. And then she got called in, because you always have to do a little task there as well, and she got called in, and she was very excited of spending some time in silence. And then she got like upgraded, for lack of better terms, to be the she had to take care of a group of people that arrived to practice silence, and she was the only one who can talk to them. So her task was basically talk to people, and it was just so funny. And she reflected on that, and that got me reflecting on how you always, or sometimes not, you always want what you don't have, which is quite funny. Yeah, people with curly hair want straight hairs, and people with straight hair want curly hair, for example. Yeah, what else is there? I did not annotate a lot in here. Yeah, I think that's it. She also wrote some poetry in her time. This one when she arrived, and this is one of her later ones, which I really appreciated, and they were quite nice. But again, it's not really it really helped me reflect on the aspect of I briefly mentioned it in the Italian section of, if I really want to call my way of living spirituality, and the whole aspect of me not getting along with it, it really started to make me reflect on my own experience, which is nice. So this is quite significantly shorter than the Italian part. But oh well, this was the part about the Indian ashram and my thoughts or lack thereof on it. Please don't feel, if you would like to pick up this book, that this is something that will make you also not enjoy it. It's not that I didn't enjoy it, but please don't feel that, because it's still very good and I really enjoyed it as an experience. But you have to be willing to put yourself into another person's perspective, and I hope you are if you are on this channel. So yeah, stay tuned for part 3 tomorrow, or whenever you are watching. There will be a part 3 where I will be looking at her time spent in Indonesia, more precisely on Bali. And it was a roller coaster, not only for her but also for me. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching, and I will see you soon in another video. I hope I didn't just drop the camera. Bye. Thanks for watching.